Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. 7-8 matchup. Sixers Heat, Wells Fargo Center. Looking to see who moves on in advance to take on the New York Knicks, who can potentially be taking on the winner of Chicago and Atlanta. This video is going to be talking about my favorable matchups of the game for the Sixers, some kind of keys to the game, as well as my predictions on what will happen. So let's get right into this. So starting off with the injury report for both squads here. Expect Joel Embiid to be a full go. No way he can miss this game or even really limit him in this game. Can't say the same about D'Anthony Melton. I don't expect D'Anthony Melton to play in this game. He really has not been available to you for the majority of the season. And it's been a real shame because he's a vital part of this team. The perimeter defense that he provides, as well as the quick trigger shooting. And just the secondary ball handling for this team is it's a nice touch to have. So D-Mel will be a big miss if he does indeed miss this game. But if he's able to play, he's going to become a very valuable piece in this game. KJ Martin probably will be available. He'll probably get some limited minutes here and there. Pretty good defensive matchup for him against the Heat. There's a lot of wings that he is able to cover. However, Miami, I'm sure, would love to have him on the floor as much as possible, whether getting other guys in the foul trouble or just being able to really clog the paint with KJ on the floor due to his lack of shooting. And lastly, obviously, Rocco kind of ruled out for the season by Nick Nurse last game, so won't expect him to see him in this game or the rest of the playoffs if they do make it past this. Going on for the Heat, a huge hit for them was announced yesterday with Terry Rozier being out for this game. Really just adds another valuable piece for the Sixers that Miami does not have there. Obviously wishing the best with health-wise. But, I mean, he's a microwave scorer, very valuable contributor to the Miami Heat. Obviously, they swung that big trade to land him, which ultimately basically brought Kyle Lowry here. But this is a big loss for the Heat. They need as much scoring as possible in this game, and Terry Rozier is one of the better scorers on their team. Duncan Robinson listed today. I expect him to play, especially with Terry Rozier going down. Miami's going to need as much offensive players as capable, and we all know what Duncan Robinson provides shooting the ball wise. So I expect him to be a full go for the Heat. And Jason Richardson, a former Sixer, out for the season. So obviously you're not going to expect him to play, but that pretty much breaks down the injury report here. Kevin Love was listed on the injury report, but it appears that he's going to be a full go, able to play. So mostly considering both teams are going to be at their best health with the exception of Terry Rozier and possibly D'Anthony Melton. So should be a good matchup. So heading into the game here, I devised 3 kind of matchups as well as categories that I feel the Sixers really need to not dominate but win in the area for them to come out on top of this game. And the first one is the Jimmy Butler matchup. Obviously, Jimmy Butler, terrific player in this league, star player, seems to elevate every time playoffs come around. And it's going to be really interesting to me who the Sixers put to guard him. I know last time in Miami they put Kyle Lowry on him. And I do like that matchup a lot because Kyle Lowry does have the speed to stay with him on the perimeter. As well as with Jimmy Butler being stronger, there's going to be the chance to post him up. But Kyle Lowry, I mean, he works down there. He's a low down there, and he's certainly tough enough to hold his own against Jimmy. Obviously playing a lot against him as well as with him, so he knows a lot of his tendencies. And I felt that Kyle Lowry really did a terrific job guarding him in Miami. So look into that for that matchup as well. I'd love to see some Nico Batum on Jimmy Butler as well. I feel like he has the size to bat with Jimmy down low as well. As well as he has pretty good quick speed. He might give up the first step, but I feel he has good recovering speed to stay with Jimmy. And a veteran in this league, Jimmy uses a variety of fakes and tries to draw the foul, and I feel like Nico is a very disciplined defender. So those are 2 matchups that I could really see kind of leaning in the Sixers' favor if it goes their way. If Jimmy's not having a hot night, those two matchups can certainly be a determining factor. As well as you might see Kelly Oubre here and there on Jimmy. Obviously, Kelly is a very good athlete, could stay in front of Jimmy really well, does a real nice job with his hands. The one area I am concerned a little bit with this matchup is Jimmy is a lot stronger than Kelly Oubre, so he might be able to bully him around more if he gets down low. So I'd like to start the game more so with Kyle Lowry on Jimmy. I think Nico Batum did a really nice job on Duncan Robinson in the regular season off ball. So I'd like to start off with that matchup. I don't think Duncan Robinson's going to be starting for the Heat, but you can kind of translate that to Tyler Hero. Have Nico Batum on Tyler Hero. They kind of have similar play styles. Tyler Hero is going to be a lot more on ball than Duncan Robinson would be, but if Bam is setting a screen, those are kind of matchups that you could switch. You could put Joel out on Tyler Hero and have Nico Batum on Bam Adebayo because of the strength that Nico presents. And it might not be the favorable matchup to have a beat on the perimeter, but if worse comes to worse, I feel like Joel can hold his own on the perimeter against some of Miami's guards. So that's certainly one area I feel like the Sixers need to take advantage of in this matchup. Really keep Jimmy contained, throw as many bodies at him as they can, and really try to make the other guys beat you. The second area in this game that I feel is really going to decide the matchup is how the Sixers shooters perform against the Miami Heat zone. And specifically, I want to target Buddy Hield, Kyle Lowry, Nico Batum, and Kelly Oubre in particular. I feel like these guys are going to have good nights beyond the arc, or at least great timely cuts to beat this zone. We know how much Spoelstra loves to run this matchup zone with the Heat. The Heat don't particularly have the greatest perimeter defenders, but he's able to really recover in that area with the matchup zone that he likes to run. And you saw even in the last game when the Sixers went down to Miami, the Sixers were really blowing the Heat out the water with the man matchup in the first quarter. Then things went a little south when Miami turned to that zone look for the Sixers. And really, I thought that the Sixers were getting off good shots during that time period. Just they weren't connecting on them. I remember Buddy Hield had a really tough game down in South Beach. Nico Batum didn't have his most impressive night from beyond the arc. I think Kyle Lowry shot the ball really well down in Miami, as well as Kelly Oubre did. But I feel like these are four guys that are really going to have to shoot the ball well in this game to kind of drag Miami out of that zone. Because the Sixers were able to get good looks out of that. They just weren't connecting. And you'd love to see limited turnovers from the Sixers. I know how much the Sixers want to get the ball in the middle of the floor against the zone. In particular, they like to have Joel kind of be that hub of the offense where he works around that free throw area. The defense kind of collapses on him, and then he's able to kick out the shooters in the zone. But you could expect timely cuts from Kelly Oubre, Nico Batum, even Maxey at times. And I feel like just having timely cuts as well as a great shooting night is really the key for the Sixers to get the Heat out of the zone and work to their more favorable man matchups where Maxey can really pick out who he wants, like Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson on the play. And when the Sixers are able to get the Heat into that man matchup, I feel like they have a very good chance on the offensive end. And it'll be big if the Sixers are hitting early against the Heat zone. So that's certainly an area that you have to look into in this game. And really my last key to the game here is hold Miami to one shot per possession. If you're able to control the glass in this game and really not allow Miami to get offensive rebounds, I don't think Miami has enough offensively to beat you here. The Sixers are a very good defensive team, as well as the Heat are, but the Heat simply just don't have the firepower on offense that the Sixers do. And if they're able to limit the Heat to one shot every possession, it's really going to be a struggle for Miami to go into the Wells Fargo Center and beat the Sixers, especially if they're not shooting the ball well. So rebounding is going to be a massive, massive area in this game, especially limiting Heat offensive rebounds. Joel Embiid has to do a serviceable job with boxing out Bam, as well as B-Ball Paul coming off the bench. Kevin Love likes to attack the offensive glass. Hayward Highsmith, I'm sure, is going to try to swing in there and grab a couple of offensive rebounds for the Heat. Same with Jimmy. But if the Sixers are able to control the defensive rebounding, I really can't see the Heat pulling this matchup out, especially if they're not having a good shooting night. They're on the road. The Heat are a good three-point shooting team, but the numbers do seem to dip on the road for the most part around the league. So if the Sixers play good perimeter defense and limit the Heat to one offensive possession per every turn down, or I really see the Sixers coming out with this matchup. Now, looking at the Sixers' favorable matchup on the offensive end, I really see Tyrese Maxey having a terrific game here, especially if the Sixers are able to hit their outside shots, because he's just going to be able to pick out whichever Heat defender he wants to go against. And I really don't think that anyone on their team can particularly guard him well one-on-one on the perimeter. I think he's too quick for a lot of their players. Hayward Highsmith and Jimmy Butler are probably their best perimeter defenders, as well as Bam. But if Tyrese Maxey is able to call a screen, get Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, or even Caleb Martin on a switch, I feel like it's a really favorable matchup for him. Caleb Martin is a pretty good perimeter defender, but last time in Miami, Tyrese Maxey really had his way with him. I could see the same happening with Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, not particularly gifted defenders. But anytime that Reese gets them on a switch, he should be able to get downhill and either go to his floater game or attack the rim and potentially draw a couple fouls on Bam. That'd be big. But Tyrese Maxey, I really feel, is going to be the X factor for this game. And if he's hitting his shot early on, it's going to be a really long night for the Miami defense. And as we saw last time with down in Miami, and especially if they have to kind of divert their attention to Maxey, means a lot more one-on-one matchups with Joel and Bam, and I feel favorable with Joel in that matchup as well. We saw that in Miami. He had a very good game whenever he was not being doubled. I expect Eric Spoelstra to be doubling a lot with Embiid, so I think Reese is definitely going to have his one-on-one matchups, and if he's able to take advantage, Sixers, I feel, have a very good chance of winning this game. So lastly here, getting into my prediction for the game, I got the Sixers taking this one out in a pretty mucky battle here over the Heat. Sixers are on their home floor, riding an 8-game win streak heading into the play-in, playing really good ball. A lot of guys on their team are hitting their stride offensively. In particular, Kelly Oubre has had a really masterful stretch here to end the regular season. He's going to be playing confident. Tyrese Maxey's been playing great ball all season. A lot of the double coverage that he saw when Joel wasn't playing, I feel is going to help advance him in these playoffs. And I feel like since he's already seen those coverages, he's going to be used to it. Players are going to be able to move off that. And hopefully he's going to be able to make them pay for when they do double. As well as Joel's getting back into the swing of things. You can see his rhythm improving game to game. One thing I will be a little interested in is how he's able to attack the rim, if he's a little hesitant or if he's aggressive in driving. I feel like that's going to be a huge kind of determining factor for the game that Joel's going to have. He's going to see a lot of doubles. And really, if I feel if the Sixers are able to handle Miami's zone, as well as not allow Miami to turn them over to get them easy baskets, I feel like it's going to be a real difficult task for Miami to go into the building and beat the Sixers here. So I got the Sixers coming out on top in kind of a mucky battle. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the game tonight, whichever side you're rooting for here. Feel free to let your thoughts be known in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching again. Appreciate it. Thank you.